Welcome into this week's Steelers Talk mailbag, where I answer your questions on the black and gold. Welcome into the show. I am your host, Jack Sperry, and I love doing this segment every single week with you guys because you guys get to tell me what Steelers topics that you have questions about and you want me to talk about with you guys right here on the show. If you want to get a question on a future Steelers Talk mailbag, you guys can put hashtag Steelers down in the comment section right now, or you guys can join us for our live shows every single Thursday starting at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Just so you guys know, you have to click that subscribe button and be a subscriber to be eligible to get your question on the show. So if you haven't clicked that subscribe button yet, now would be a great time to do so. With that, I'll pause and open it up for questions, starting with a $10 super chat from my man Pickens Burner. It says, I've heard Browns fans say Jerry Jeudy is better than George Pickens. What do you say to that? I say that's a bunch of hogwash. Now, I think Jerry Jeudy's had a really good season this year. Ever since they traded Amari Cooper, he's been really, really good, especially with Jameis Winston. But George Pickens is a top 5 receiver in the league in terms of pure talent. He is arguably, I don't even know if it's arguable, he's the best spectacular catch receiver in the National Football League, making those 50-50 balls turn into 80-20 balls. And then, he's phenomenal after the catch. How many times have we seen this guy take a dig or a slant to the house? Makes guys miss in the screen game as well. Pickens is unbelievably good and unbelievably talented. So if we're just talking about these two players on the field, there's not many players that stack up with GP. Then we got one from Nightmare here, $10 super chat, says we have many people on their last year of their contracts, on their last year of the rookie deals in Pittsburgh. Who do you think will be the ones re-signed and why? So I think they'll bring back Jaylen Warren in some capacity there. He's a restricted free agent, so whether he signs his tender there, his qualifying offer, or they match whatever another team is willing to pay him, I think the Steelers want him back. Also, I think Landon Roberts is somebody that I think that they're probably going to let walk. I think they probably let multiple people walk here. Landon Roberts, because you got Peyton Wilson waiting in the wings. Dan Moore Jr., I think, is somebody they let walk because they've got 2 first-round picks in the building right now at offensive tackle. I think they let James Daniels go because Mason McCormick is an up-and-coming player on the interior as well. Justin Fields, I think, is probably going to end up going somewhere else. I hope he doesn't. I hope he stays, but I think he'll probably end up going. The person that I would say you want to bring back, though, as somebody that is on this team right now and is a free agent, is Dante Jackson. Dante is a perfect number 2 corner in the Steelers scheme. Steelers usually like to have one dominant, longer, physical outside corner to be able to put in press, and then they like their other corner to be kind of speedier, more of a zone type of corner, and that's Dante Jackson. And right now he leads the AFC in interceptions with 5. All right, so Dante's been a huge addition to the Steelers defense as a number 2 corner. He loves being in here in Pittsburgh, so I have a feeling the Steelers will bring back Dante Jackson next year. Then we got one from CWK, $5, says, what makes more sense for the Steelers to keep Justin Fields because it is a long-term fix at quarterback. Also, thanks for the support and prayers. I think he's asking whether to bring back Justin Fields or Russell Wilson. Makes more sense to bring back Russ because you're a win-now team, right? With Justin Fields, I think your ceiling is limited, all right? Justin Fields statistically wasn't really all that good in the first 6 weeks, if I'm being completely honest with you. The team was 4-2, but they had to win very close games, very low-scoring games. It just wasn't as good as what it is with Russell Wilson right now. Russell Wilson has been arguably one of the best quarterbacks in football statistically since he took over. This offense has really responded to him being injected into this group. Plus, he's got the veteran leadership and the fourth quarter clutch ability that Justin Fields just doesn't have. He's never played in a playoff game, and since he's entered, he has, I think, the lowest quarterback rating of any quarterback in football in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's not the way the Steelers want to play. So, I think that Russ's experience, his clutch factor, his deep ball ability, his touch, make him the superior option there. And for a win-now team like the Steelers, I think that the future is now, and the future is Russell Wilson. Shout out your guy down there in the comments section. Who will be the Steelers' QB1 next year? Right now, I'd say it's at least a 95% chance Russell Wilson. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Still a lot of ball left to be played this season. Will Russell Wilson or someone else be the Steelers' starting quarterback next season? Let me know down there in the comments section for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. Going from my man Troy Philip Abuga, who is a Black Diamond member. Coop, don't forget his sticker. Says, we will see Mike Williams more since CA3 is in concussion protocol. You'd hope so, Troy. You'd hope so. I thought last week against the Bengals was kind of the week that I was expecting to see more Mike Williams. 10 Steelers players got targets last week, and one of them was not Mike Williams. I mean, that's crazy. Like Michael Pruitt was more involved in the passing game. Ben Skoranek was more involved in the offense than Mike Williams was last week. So with Calvin Austin III in concussion protocol, if he doesn't play this weekend, I'd certainly hope Mike Williams is a big part of the game plan. I guess we'll have to see, but if we know anything about Arthur Smith in this offense, they'll probably go with Van Jefferson. Ugh. All right, before we get into the rest of today's questions, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Mando Whole Body Deodorant. And let me ask you guys kind of a weird question here. How do you deodorize your balls in the morning? Most people will just use soap in the shower or even just put some cologne down there, which has got a sting. But after a few hours, that smell starts to fade and a less desirable smell starts to come up during the day. Lucky for you, our friends at Mando Whole Body Deodorant have come up with the perfect solution with their brand new spray deodorant. It won't irritate your sensitive bits because the first ingredient is water, not alcohol, and it's proven to control odor for 72 hours. It also has a 360-degree spray and works upside down. So it's perfect for getting this stuff anywhere on your body from any angle. Take advantage of Mando's special offer just for Steelers Talk listeners, which gives new customers $5 off their best-selling starter pack with code CHAT at shopmando.com. Guys, the number one product that I would recommend from Mando is their body wash. It smells fantastic. It keeps you smelling fresh all day long. And you know, I always was smelling fresh here at Chat Sports, but the way it's really helped me out here, guys, is that a lot of the people here at Chat Sports have been using these Mando products, and the stink that they used to have is no longer there. So thank you so much to Mando for making my life here at Chat Sports that much easier. And Mando's starter pack is perfect for you guys because it comes with a solid stick of deodorant, cream tube deodorant, so 2 different types of deodorant, plus 2 free types or 2 free products of your choice, like that mini body wash that we talked about. I love the bourbon leather scent. I highly recommend that. Plus, they got deodorant wipes as well, which are fantastic to use if that's more your thing. Plus, you get free shipping, so there's no reason not to try my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market today. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code that equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you use code CHAT at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. It's time to smell better naked with Mando Whole Body Deodorant today. Got a question here from Sheldon who says, what do you think it would take to keep both Wilson and Fields next year? So I think Russell, it's probably going to take, I would say, 30 to 35 million per season over the next 2 years is probably what Russ is going to want. Maybe it gets up to 40. We'll see how well he plays down the stretch and then how much he actually asks for. With Fields, I think it's less about the money and it's more about what other teams see him as. If another team sees him as somebody that could start for them next year and they offer him a chance to start, I think Fields is going to take that opportunity. He's not, if he has the choice between starting for another team or sitting behind Russell Wilson and holding his clipboard, he's going to try to play. All right, plain and simply. But if he doesn't get an opportunity to start next year, I think his number one spot is he would love to come back and play for the Steelers. He has a great relationship with Russ. He loves Mike Tomlin as his coach, all these different things, and he knows he can win with this team if Russell Wilson, God forbid, goes down with an injury. So yes, I think if Fields gets an opportunity to start, he will leave. But if there's not another team out there that wants to bring him in or give him a shot to start, I do think that is when he would decide to come back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Got one from Nothing here. Says, if George Pickens finishes out this season strong, would we extend him? So from my understanding here is that the Steelers, hesitation to give George an extension doesn't have anything to do with football. It has to deal with not showing up to meetings on time, not showing up to practice on time. The unsportsmanlike conduct penalties that seem to happen every single week, the lack of effort in the blocking game, in how he runs his routes. Like Pickens' issue is a personality and an attitude issue, not necessarily what he brings to the football field. So, if he has a great rest of the season and he shapes up his act, I think that's the bigger portion of this here, Nothing. He shapes up his act, yeah, maybe they can give him an extension. But if he continues to show up late, have a bad attitude, fight other players, take all these unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, it kind of seems like it's going towards an eventual stopping point here where it's going to end up being like Deontay Johnson, where they're just going to try to get a locker room cancer out of their locker room. I really hope that's not what it comes to. But if I'm being honest here, George Pickens certainly feels like a ticking time bomb that's eventually going to go off. So predict it for me down there in the comments section. Will GP be on the team next year? Simple question. Give me a yes or no down there in the comments section. Will George Pickens be on the Steelers next year? Going from Steelers fan 2010 here says, do you think we could sign Tee Higgins and still keep GP? It's feasible. George is still on his rookie contract, so it's not that expensive to keep him. And then Tee Higgins, depending on how much he wants, I'm guessing he probably wants somewhere close to 28 to 38 to 30 million on his next contract. So do the Steelers want to pay that over 5 years for Tee Higgins? I mean, maybe. Mike Tomlin has been very complimentary of his play and how he plays the position. His size and his physicality would work wonders for Russell Wilson in this offense. I'd love to see the Steelers add him. So I guess, the answer to that question is yes. You can still get Tee Higgins and keep GP at the same time. Going from Pittsburgh Steelers fan 8 here says, do you guys think Cam Johnston will be back for the playoffs? He's talking about the punter here. Who had that injury, I believe it was in week 1, where they had to bring in Corliss Waitman after that. I honestly don't think he's going to be back for the rest of the season. I might be wrong on that, but my understanding is this is a season-ending injury for Johnston here. And honestly, Waitman's doing a good job. I think Corliss Waitman has earned himself a starting punter job in this league next year in free agency with the way that he has played so far this year. So for me personally, guys, I think that Waitman's probably going to be your guy the rest of the year. Going from Mike Z here. What's up, Mike? Says, I will say it again. The Steelers will win the Super Bowl this year. Mike, every single week we get past here, Mike, I'm right there with you even more and more. Russell Wilson is playing incredible football. The defense is still playing very well. They're turning the football over. This team is well coached. This team can move the football on offense for the first time, it seems like, in forever. I'm very excited about this team, Mike. I'm glad to see that you are as well. And make no mistake, folks, the Steelers are Super Bowl contenders. You can take that to the bank. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you to everybody that submitted questions on this week's Steelers Talk Mailbag. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we got more great coverage coming your way in the weeks to come right here on Steelers Talk.